When I was a kid, I didn't show any dedication to any of the hobbies that I attempted to pick up. I attempted to do guitar, football, I even attempted karate and taekwondo. Now, I quit the karate and taekwondo because I ended up breaking my arm, but once it healed, I never went back. Now, these activities have one of two things in common. I either dropped them because I lost interest, which is a normal thing, or it got harder than I was willing to tolerate. Now, for a kid trying out hobbies, this isn't that big of a deal. But as I got into my late teenage years and my early 20s, this would pose to be a problem. Dedication is an important thing to understand. It is the source of motivation and the fuel that pushes you to want to do the important things you don't want to do. A bodybuilder goes to the gym because of dedication for something he loves, but usually hurts to do. This alone motivates them to push themselves for their goals. I was an extremely lazy teenager. I sat around the house all day playing video games. I didn't go out to the movies or anything like that. I avoided physical activity if at all possible. And for a while, this was fine. But once I graduated from high school, I ended up taking a 6 year hiatus from any kind of schooling and instead took a dead end job as a self checkout clerk. And I hated it. The pay was bad, the job was bad, and this left me feeling aimless, a sense of that something needed to change, but I had no idea what that was. I didn't have anything to focus my attention on. I didn't have any goals to work towards. So I didn't change anything at that time. I was lazy. I was aimless. I didn't have any goals to focus on. Making it through high school was harder than it needed to be. I didn't do any of my schoolwork, and that was because I didn't have any dedication to my schoolwork at this time. I didn't think it was important at all. After years of feeling like this, though, feeling aimless, I finally had a goal to set my sights on, and that was I was going to attend college to be a mechanic. I threw myself at my studies. It was the only thing I focused on for 2 years. I was either on campus or I was doing my homework and assignments for the following day. It was hard. I was stressed out. I wanted to give up, but I showed up every day, no matter what, and made sure my work was done. This gave me a sense of purpose and gave me motivation to push forward, and I ended up graduating from OTC as a mechanic. This time I spent there allowed me to get a glimpse of the importance of showing dedication to goals that you want no matter what, no matter how badly you don't want to put the work in, no matter how badly you don't want to invest the time to it. A little bit of dedication is something that can help you find the motivation to finish your tasks. During lockdown, I was stuck inside a lot, and I found myself falling back into my old teenage habits, just sitting around and playing video games all day. I had just graduated college, so I was excited to find jobs, but because of lockdown, no businesses were open, so me finding a job wasn't really going to work out, and it didn't. And because of that, I took inventory of my skills and found programming. I would find myself, instead of playing video games all day, I would sit there and I would study all day, every day for weeks on end. It became my new dedication or obsession, realistically, because they are two sides of the same coin. And all of this led me right back to finding that I needed to go back to school again. And I needed to go back to get the job that I obviously wanted. If I hadn't taken inventory of my skills, I would not have found my passion for programming. Now, I could have given up during lockdown. I could have just sat around and continued to fall back into my teenage routine of just playing video games all day. But I chose to move forward, and it's paying off, and just showing that small amount of dedication changed that course that I was headed on. In conclusion, dedication is the motivator for a lot of things that people do for their family, for their work, for goals you want to accomplish. Even when I didn't have a goal in life, I was becoming dedicated to figuring out what I wanted to do, no matter what. I could have just given up and not changed anything, but I went to college instead. It was that choice that proves that I became dedicated to figuring it out. I procrastinated all the things I needed to do. To a point, I even procrastinated my hobbies as a teenager. Not having any real passion about anything, once I found programming, it clicked. I became dedicated and on a single track mind that no matter what, I was going to reach that goal. This I believe.